Hello and welcome to Completely Biased Podcast. We are not at the poker table, but we are at a studio.
It sounds so much better.
Yeah, it does sound so much better, but the poker table is still feeling really, really left out. Your wife bought us a really cool matinee thing to put up for our video portion, which we are going to do. It's going to happen. We're going to have a video portion of the podcast, but for right now, this mic quality is so much better.
It's like addicting to use the nice mic quality.
Well, yeah, because you feel like you're like you're a professional in your real studio, and it feels pretty good. But anyways, I'm gonna start off today with a little story time because Trevor hurt my feelings last night.
Oh my goodness!
All right, so last night we were at a brewery doing a trivia night, and Trevor, out of the blue, no prompting at all. I didn't do anything to him. He was like, "Hey, Sean, guess what? Devin Booker is out with a knee injury." And he was joking. I didn't find it funny.
I told Chris that I was like, I told one of our friends, and I was like, "You want to see Sean freak out for a second? Just watch this." And I thought that'd be kind of funny, especially because he twisted it a couple days ago. I know it was nothing a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But now I feel bad.
Yeah,
I feel really bad.
Yesterday, after he had said that already.
This happened, like 2 hours later, about an hour and a half later?
He tore his abductor muscle.
Oh.
And I don't even know what that is. And it didn't look bad. It didn't look good because he had to get carried off the court with both his legs spread. He couldn't even, move his legs.
Those non-contact injuries are the worst.
Yeah. And luckily it's just a torn muscle, but torn muscles can still be a pain. But it's not like a knee injury. And we don't know the severity of it yet. And, the more we learn about it, we'll get out the news and as fast as possible.
I do apologize. I don't root for injury. I was trying to make fun of you, but I
bit you in the back.
I need to make fun of, or I need to apologize to Devin Booker.
Yeah,
that was
you
not
put some
my
bad juju on him.
That was not my intention.
Anyways, today we are not talking about basketball. We are talking about college football. The playoff, the Final Four were announced, and both, or I don't know if you're unhappy about it, but I'm definitely unhappy about it. And
I don't like this. I don't like how it happened, but I get it.
We're gonna start talking about that first, and then later we'll get into MLB offseason, all these like lottery free agents that are out there, and who's gonna make the first move, what's the first ball to drop, and we'll get to that later. But first, we're gonna talk about college football, Final Four. And you know a lot more about the process of putting it in, so try to explain to me why these are the Final Four teams that we have.
Well, it's kind of hard to make sense of what the committee does.
I know, but at least I don't follow college football like that much.
Right.
I mean, if ASU is okay, then I'll follow it a little bit. But then other than that, it's just I don't like college football precisely for this reason.
Well, the really annoying part is the setup was supposed to be like any of the top 8 teams before the championship games should have been had a chance to get in. And then, I mean, so you get Clemson. They won the ACC. They killed Miami, so you have to put Clemson in, obviously.
Yeah.
Oklahoma killed TCU. They're obviously in. I mean, Georgia and Auburn, the winner of the SEC, probably should always be in. I mean, that's one of the best conferences, if not the best. Then you have number 4, Alabama, who didn't play on Saturday. And then 5 is Ohio State, who won the Big Ten. And then 6, you had Wisconsin, who lost the Big Ten championship. But I feel like Ohio State deserved to be in. I don't like Ohio State at all. I don't like Alabama, but I really, really don't like Ohio State. And I kind of felt like they won the Big Ten championship. They deserve to be in just because I didn't feel like Alabama played anybody all year.
And Alabama didn't play anyone all year, and they didn't even make it to their championship.
They didn't even win their division, let alone their conference.
Let alone their conference. And, this is why I get upset about this. And it's just, how does Alabama get in over the team that just beat them the week before? And they're like, oh, but they have, in the SEC championship, the team that lost ended up with 3 losses, correct?
Auburn did, yeah.
Yeah, Auburn ended up with 3 losses, but they beat Alabama. Alabama only has 2 losses.
One loss.
They only had the 1 loss to
Auburn.
But if they had gone to the championship, it would have been 2 losses.
Yeah.
So, Auburn played an extra game and get penalized for playing the extra game.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You should be rewarded, not penalized. the thing with the committee is they had to stay consistent from last year, because last year the same thing happened in the Big Ten. Penn State beat Ohio State, so Penn State goes to the championship game and wins the championship game. But Ohio State had less losses. They just jumped Ohio State over Penn State and put the Ohio State in last year. So then this year they're doing the same thing.
I know, but you can't just keep retreading like your mistakes.
I know it's stupid. I don't,
because there's no reason why Auburn. I would have put 3 teams in over Alabama, or probably maybe 2 to 3 teams.
Auburn and Ohio State. And
Miami. I would honestly put Miami ahead of them too.
I just think Miami just getting trounced really hurt them.
It did really hurt them, but they at least, again, made it to Saturday, and they had more quality wins than Alabama did throughout the season.
That's the really – and I got this from Joel Klatt on Fox Sports, but Alabama, their only significant wins were LSU, who lost at home to Troy. Troy University beat them in Baton Rouge. That was their one quality win. Their second quality win was Mississippi State, who lost 4 games. They're the only 4-loss team in the top 25. Mm-hmm. Of course, because you got to give Alabama a quality win. And then Fresno State, who's a group of 5 team that has 3 losses and somehow is in the top 25. It's stupid. Like they just handed Alabama the invitation to the college football playoff.
And it's just like this is again why I don't like college football that much, is because football is all about tradition anyways. And college football, especially, it's not not who's the best team this year. Who's been the best team over the past 5 years, where players don't even stay there for 5 years, so it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get how you can say it's all about what you do, like what you earned all year. That belongs to Ohio State.
And then you earn nothing all year, and then you get in on your past year.
Yeah, and then you get in because you just have 1 loss. Like it's annoying.
Well, Alabama is Alabama, so they should just get in.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're gonna just do the best 4 teams, it almost like makes playing the season irrelevant. Like, okay, you're just gonna I mean, Alabama is talented. We all know Alabama is talented, but they're automatically, even if they don't accomplish anything, you're just gonna put them in there, and then what's the point of playing? Mm-hmm. You know, like. I don't get how you can say Alabama. They did not earn a spot in the college football playoff.
No. And so, all right, moving on from our grievances with the placement of the Final Four. What do you think of the college football playoff going into it? Do you think this is going to be really competitive games?
I think so. Alabama, like I just said, they are talented. They're going to be fully healthy, but Clemson. I don't get this. Alabama's the favorites right now. I mean, Vegas is still out. We still have a month, but Alabama's right now the -1 favorite over Clemson, which I think is ridiculous. If my wife would let me bet, I would go bet all my money on Clemson right now.
Yeah, Clemson seemed really, really dominant and like through everything. And Alabama again lost to a team that then lost by 20 points.
Yeah.
To Georgia. So it's like. How do you even justify this?
I know. Clemson's had a better quarterback. I know Alabama's defense is going to be healthy, but I still like Clemson's defense better. I am all about the Clemson Tigers. I was kind of a fake Clemson Tigers fan the last 2 years with Deshaun Watson. I'm still a fake fan, but
so how's the seeding set up? It's Georgia 1,
Clemson 1, Oklahoma 2, Georgia 3.
Georgia's 3.
Yeah, and Alabama's 4.
So it's Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, Georgia.
Yep.
So who's your final 2 then? Clemson, Georgia?
I'm going to go Clemson, Georgia.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma and Baker Mayfield, they're legit.
Baker Mayfield's the best player or college football player
probably
in the Final Four.
Oh, yeah, in the Final Four sure.
And, he's still in the Heisman race, right?
If he doesn't win, there's a problem.
Oh.
I mean, I could see him not winning, but if he doesn't win, there's a problem.
Who are the front runners for the Heisman?
They announced the 3 finalists. It's Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, and Saquon Barkley.
I think Lamar Jackson's probably not going to win it because
they lost like 5 games.
And compared to last year, he was again good this year for a college football. Yeah, but last year he was so much better. So,
not Saquon Barkley, Bryce Love from Stanford. I'm sorry. Although I think Saquon's better. They just lost more games.
Again, me not being a giant college football fan, Baker Mayfield is the most recognizable name out of all that. So
yeah, Baker Mayfield should win pretty easily. Is that this Sunday or Saturday? They either announced it this weekend or next weekend. I forgot.
So you're picking Georgia over Oklahoma.
I am.
And then Clemson over
Alabama.
What's your prediction for the final game, the championship game?
I'm rolling with Clemson all the way.
Clemson all the way?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a close game? Do you think it's a good game?
See, I thought it'd be close last year, and they trounced Ohio State 31-0.
Georgia, like I said, Auburn beat Alabama pretty handily, and then
Georgia beat Auburn.
Georgia beat Auburn by 20 points.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know why Georgia's 3.
I mean, I get it. Clemson and Oklahoma were already in there before the week started, so you just don't want to put Georgia over them. Even if you put them 2, they're still going to play Oklahoma.
So, what was your dream scenario for happening last weekend to get Alabama out and other teams in? Because I'm interested in hearing
if Wisconsin had won, Alabama's not in. That's like
yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if we watched the end of that game when Wisconsin's driving down the field, and when it became 1st and 20 on that holding call, even though the receiver got tackled, to try before they caught the ball, they called no pass interference. So then Wisconsin had a 3rd and 20 they had to convert, which was ridiculous. To
be fair, watching, because like I said, we both watched that game, and I don't watch tons of college football, but I still watch football. And watching Wisconsin, they didn't look like they were one of the best 4 teams in.
I agree.
Their quarterback was
he was all over the
dreadful.
place.
So
their defense kept them in it. They had 3 turnovers? They forced 3 turnovers.
I mean,
turnovers?
they were in the game, but their quarterback was not able to deliver, and it just. If I was on Wisconsin's side, there I would not be. Like, oh yeah, we're in this game because we've got this.
Right.
We got blank at quarterback.
But you also can't leave a 13-0 Wisconsin team out. So, like, if they win, they have to be in.
I know, but
then Clemson would have trounced them
that's
too.
Why college football is so hard to judge. Me and you are talking about like, oh, Alabama doesn't deserve it, and they're a lot more talented than a lot of football teams. But it's hard to judge college football because no one it's not like. Like, even in the NFL, not everyone plays everyone, but you still play a lot of the similar teams, obviously, because it's a lot smaller. College football is so big, there's no way to judge how, unless they play them directly, like, is this team better than this team?
Yeah.
And even when they do play them directly, they're like, oh, those early in the season, they've changed, they've gotten better, they've grown up.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, every year, that's why they pin these teams against each other in the bowl games, because they're like, okay, well, we'll learn who's better, the ACC or the SEC. Like, ACC number 4, SEC number 4 will play each other, and we'll see who's a better conference. And then every year, it's, like, different. Like, every year, one year the ACC will win them all, the next year the SEC will win them all.
As an ignorant college football watcher, have the bowl games already been announced?
Yes. There's
4 like, the big bowl games, just...
I have to look them up. I don't know them off the top of my head.
Well...
Give me 1 second.
We can talk about the for the completely biased side, the Herm Edwards signing of ASU.
Oh yeah,
and how he didn't know who the mascot was while you're looking
that was pretty funny. As much as I'm rooting for Herm Edwards,
I'm rooting for him, and as an ASU fan, I'm like, okay, like maybe he's gonna be really good, but also he's been out of coaching for at least 10 years, and been out of college football coaching for a long time.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. So.
All right, so let's see.
Good luck, Herm, but I'm tempering my expectations.
All right, here's what we got here. Some of the bigger games we've got: Stanford versus TCU in the Alamo Bowl. That should be a good game. I mean, TCU's 15, Stanford's 13. Dude, Arizona State's in a bowl game versus number 24 NC State. Good luck. I doubt you're going to win that, but
yeah.
It's okay.
How does a team go into a bowl game knowing that their coach isn't going to be there next year?
That's what a lot of these teams are going to have, which is insane. The next big one, the non-playoff one, is USC versus Ohio State. This is really going to see if Sam Darnold is like worthy of being the top pick or a top 2 pick. And then you have Penn State and Washington, which is number 11 versus number 9, and then Wisconsin plays Miami.
That should be a good game.
Yeah, that'll be a really good one.
Speaking of Miami.
That's in Miami, too.
Speaking of Miami. All right, Miami's got a good coach now. And I know this is really, really stupid to do because anything can happen in college football. But who are your favorites? Who are your top 4 favorites for next year?
In 2018?
In 2018.
Ooh. Man, that's tough.
It's a tough question, and it's really tough because college football is so volatile sometimes.
Yeah. Man, this is really hard. I think Clemson's going to be